An electrical problem is being blamed for an early morning fire at Willie's Pizza in Ottawa's West End. Firefighters were called to the restaurant on McEwen Avenue just before 1 o'clock this morning. The fire caused damage to adjacent stores in that complex, damage estimated at $85,000. Quebecers go to the polls today in a provincial election, but it's anybody's guess what the political picture will look like after polls close at 8 o'clock. Recent public opinion surveys suggest that the Parti Québécois had a slight edge over both the governing Liberals and the Coalition for Quebec's Future. But it's not clear if any party will form a majority government. Premier Jean Charest spent the final days of the campaign warning that a PQ government would mean years of economic and political instability. Allegations of dirty tricks highlighting the final days of the Quebec election campaign. The Liberals filed a complaint with police alleging a series of automated calls were made in its name in English to French areas of the province. Calls were made by people using an aggressive tone in Laval. The Quebec Elections Office says it will investigate. A man in his 50s recovering from non-life-threatening stab wounds after a Labor Day altercation. Gatineau police continue to investigate the stabbing in an apartment on Rue Moreau. There is no word on any suspects at this hour. Well, for thousands of students, it's the first day of school, and by now many kids have packed their backpacks and getting ready to head out the door if they haven't already. Reporter Melissa Lamb live at St. Marguerite de Youville Elementary School, getting us ready for another year. Melissa.
That's right, Curta. We've already seen quite a few parents drop off their kids here this morning. Some excited, some a little nervous. We have yet to see the first school bus arrive. Those should arrive in about 10 minutes so we do have some tips for you this morning if you are heading out on the school bus. Make sure you are standing in single file and stand well back from the road. Make sure the bus comes to a complete stop and walk a safe distance from the edge of the road. And if you are crossing the street, make sure the bus does have its signal on before you cross. Of course, always look both ways for traffic and walk far in front of the bus so the driver can see you. Now, we were talking to kids this morning to get their thoughts on their first day.
Who's going to be here? What are my teachers going to be? And just want to see how many of my friends show up.
Are you nervous at all?
Yeah, a bit.
And coming up at 8:30, we're also going to talk to some parents and, of course, some more kids and get their thoughts on their first day. And it's about to be a packed place as school buses should arrive in about 10 minutes' time. Kurt?
Looking forward to seeing that. Thanks very much, Melissa. It's Melissa Lamb reporting live this morning. As students head back to school, members of Parliament preparing to head back to work today. The NDP caucus will meet in St. John's, Newfoundland all week to plot strategy for the fall session of Parliament. Liberal MPs in Montebello to discuss strategy and planning for the upcoming leadership race. MPs return to Ottawa for the new session of Parliament set for September 17th. The hulking prisoner on death row in the Green Mile has died at the age of 54. Michael Clark Duncan passed away Monday morning in a Los Angeles hospital nearly 2 months after suffering a massive heart attack. The 6'5", 300-pound Duncan was nominated for an Oscar in his role in Green Mile. He also appeared in Armageddon, Planet of the Apes, and Kung Fu Panda. Daredevils took over Olympic Park in Calgary this weekend from skiers. More than 200 racers from around the world took part in the World Downhill Skateboarding and Street Luge Championships. The racers rode up to the roof to the top of Olympic Park in a ski lift, then later raced down on a skateboard or street luge. That's a street luge. They hit speeds of 55 miles per hour on the almost 1 mile track.